The Ghost of Lavinia Fisher, Love, Murder, and the Gallows. What happens when love turns into murder? When the person you trust the most becomes the reason you die. This is the true story of Lavinia and John Fisher, America's first serial killer couple, and the betrayal that echoes through Charleston, South Carolina, to this very day. It was the early 1800s. Lavinia was beautiful, charming, and smart. She and her husband John ran the 6-mile Wayfarer house, an inn just outside Charleston. Travelers often stopped in and rarely left. Locals began to whisper. Guests disappeared. No one could prove anything until one man, John Peoples, lived to tell the tale. He arrived at the inn one evening. Lavinia was welcoming, even flirtatious. She offered him tea, but something about her eyes made him suspicious. He dumped the tea when she wasn't looking. That night, he pretended to sleep in the bed she offered. And that's when the floor beneath him collapsed. It was a trap. Peoples escaped and ran to authorities. When police raided the inn, what they found was horrifying. A cellar full of bones, stolen goods, and personal belongings from missing travelers. Lavinia and John were arrested, charged with multiple murders. At their trial, Lavinia was cold, defiant. She claimed she did it all, for love for her husband, but witnesses said she was the mastermind. And John, just a man who followed her darkness out of devotion. They were sentenced to death. On February 18th, 1820, John was hanged first, quiet, resigned. Lavinia, dressed in her wedding gown, stood before the crowd and shouted, "If any of you have a message for the devil, give it to me. I'm about to meet him." She jumped before the noose could be tightened. But the story doesn't end there. They say Lavinia's ghost still haunts the old Charleston jail. Visitors report seeing a woman in white, screaming, begging, searching. Was it justice? Or a love so toxic it cursed them both, even in death? So here's the question.